Hi, if you're in the medical industry or you are a health practitioner, you understand when I say that social media marketing is not so easy on the people that are in that industry because, first of all, professionally, they're not really advised to market themselves. So they come out of school with this kind of mindset that they're not supposed to promote themselves because, they are doctors. Patients will just come to them, which is quite different in the real world because let's face it, competition affects each and every industry, whether you are in the health industry or you are in the most lowest, I don't know, industry that you can ever think about. Even a border guy has competition, right? So that means that if you are into business and you are doing business that is in the health industry, not just a profession, then you definitely have competition. And you have to do something about it. You have to find a way of making yourself stand out. Now, the easiest way of doing it is considering starting TikToks, creating TikTok videos, right? And I know very many medical practitioners are not so comfortable with that. However, they also are quite skeptical with running advertisements, especially on Facebook. If they do try, they're just going to run the basic advertisements that we call awareness advertisements. And I believe you have also tried it. Running a Facebook advertisements are paying about $2 or $3 a day, only to get a lot of WhatsApp messages, but no serious customers. However, a lot of disturbances, people that come in to inquire about your services, but are not so they're not so much of your potential clients. If you are considering tapping into the kind of clients that you need, here is a proven strategy that you can try to run as your advertisements. We call these lead generation advertisements. Remember that the other ones are supposed to be called visibility advertisements. Those ones that you usually pay $2 on your Instagram and you click post, then it runs around, reaches a few thousand people, bring you some WhatsApp messages. Those are awareness advertisements or visibility advertisements. These are lead generation advertisements. Now, what you're going to first of all understand is if you're running these kind of advertisements at this kind of scale, you're definitely not going to be using your phone. You shall definitely need a PC. You're going to be using a computer and accessing the professional advertisement platform of Meta. It's called Meta Ads Manager because while you're using this platform, you have access to very many features that you do not have on your Instagram app, or that you do not even have on the mobile version of the Meta Ads Manager platform. So, without much ado, let me take you straight onto the strategy itself so that I can show you its layout, what exactly you have to be using, what exactly you have to be looking into if you want to start advertising professionally and to make your business stand out and also make yourself reach the kind of potential clients that you want to be attracting in your business if you do need business growth. So, right now, let's get started with it. Now, as you can see right on our screen right here, we have what the lead generation strategy for health facilities look like. And you should be expecting to spend this much, at least for a start, if you want to be advertising on a professional level. So, as you can see, the strategy is laid out in a way that it gives you the steps each. It takes you through one by one as steps. So let me first of all zoom into the screen a little bit more so that you can see all the details more clearly. And yes, this is where we are. Now, for starters, I want you to remember that when you're advertising on your phone, the easiest thing to remember is you simply have to take a picture of what you want, what you're trying to sell. Maybe it is your facility, it is your clinic that you're just taking a picture of and posting it on your Instagram, then clicking post. But when we are dealing with advertisements of this scale, we get a little bit into the nitty-gritties that you probably do not really look into. So for starters, we're going to look at what exactly makes you different as you're starting to sell. But even before we start with this, you need to first conclude on what you want to be selling. What is your offer? What do you want to put out there? Because for clarity, I do not want you to start advertising, especially at this scale, pushing out all of what your facility does. I believe that you probably run a generalized kind of facility, health facility. It could be a hospital, it could be anything, but you offer different services. However, as you start with what we call lead generation advertisements, you need to have a focus at specific departments, as you call them in your professionalism or in your profession. It could be cardiology, it could be obstetrics, whatever department that you like to put out there. You do not want to go all the way in. Remember that I'm talking to people that own businesses in the in the health industry. I'm not speaking to just practitioners. Okay, so when I say that you might be offering different services, it doesn't necessarily mean that every health practitioner out there knows all these different departments, but I'm speaking to people that are in positions to offer these as services. That is from all different angles and different departments. So you want first of all figure out that specific offer that you want to focus on, and just keep that in mind. The maximum you should go is 3 departments, but the best to go is just one. Have the one that you believe has high demand and of course makes a lot of business sense for you, and focus on just that. Now you need to first of all figure out what your selling propositions are. What makes you different? What exactly would the client choose you for that any other competitor does not offer? That could be your price, that could be your human resource, that could be your equipment, that could be your the customer experience that you have for your patients when they come to you. And second, you need to look into your budget. Now, when we are running lead generation advertisements, I so much recommend you to start at $25 because you do not want to be spending $5 or $2 when you're going to be taking through customers through that same sales journey that you're going to be looking at here. Remember that when you're spending $2 on Facebook, for example, you just want people to click on maybe like a post, or maybe just come to your WhatsApp. You get that is a very direct sales journey. And that is also partly the reason as why you might be receiving a lot of unqualified leads. In other words, people that are not actually your patients. So we want to take these customers through a sales journey that is going to qualify them, filter out all the clutter, and keep just the quality clients that we need, that are going to be actually your potential clients that can afford your offers and all that. So you want to be spending about $25, and you're planning to spend this in for some good time, and you're planning 30 days. Not just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days, because when you're advertising online, we have what we call the learning phase. These adverts go through certain phases, and usually almost all of those processes happen during the first 7 days. So everyone you start advertising and just run for 1 day or 2 days, you're not even reaching the potential of the platform, but you've stopped the advertisements. In other words, you've not even reached any kind of results that the platform could have given you. So right here, planning for about 30 days. If the performance is still good, you can even just continue through after the 30 days. After that, we want to look into what is needed. As I mentioned at the start, we are not just posting on your Instagram. So we're going to need Meta Ads Manager as a professional platform. And you will also definitely need a CRM. CRM is called a customer relationship management platform. You might not have these if you have not been so active when it comes to your marketing. So you could just have alternatives of what you could use as CRMs, but you can also speak to your social media guru that can give you some advice on what exactly you should be using instead of incurring a cost of a CRM. Then we shall definitely need photos and videos of your services that you want to be pushing out. And we are giving ourselves about 7 days to set up. We are not yet running, but we're using the 7 days to just set up everything, put them in place. Then we want to look at the target. Now, this strategy is intended to bring you at least 3 serious patients every day the moment you start running. So if you want this much of clients on a daily basis, you want to be looking at this kind of results. What we have to be looking at the click-through rate from Facebook. We want to be looking at the landing page conversions. What is going to happen when somebody clicks on your advertisement? We want to be looking at how many physical appointments you're going to get, and that is where the sales conversions come in. And those are the three. Those are the minimum 3 clients that we are planning to be achieving with this kind of strategy. Now, after you've figured out and you've confirmed all the above is available, now let's look at the sales journey, how exactly it would look. So you are a hospital, maybe, or a medical center, probably, or a pharmacy, maybe, and you have to have about 8 different advertisements or different content formats to use in your advertisements. Remember that every advert takes one piece of content, and you want to be looking at over 8 different advertisements, with 3 of them as videos, 3 of them as photos, 2 of them as graphics. Those graphics are those flyers that they design. They usually have your phone number and information that you are selling. So you want to have this much of advertisements. Now, you might not necessarily start right away running all of the 8 advertisements at once, but you definitely want to give the platform more content to juggle with, to play around with, in order to communicate what you do to your customers in different creative ways. So you do not want to just focus on promoting just a single video, maybe just a single photo. You want to give it a bunch everywhere you're running. And once you start running, you need to figure out which ones of the three of the four that we've started running with are not performing quite well. Stop those. Proceed with the ones that perform quite good. How do you see the performance? Of course, how many people are clicking on which advertisement? Which one does not have enough reach? You have to be looking at those numbers, and your ads manager definitely offers all of that. Now, after that, you want to look into what kind of customers are you trying to tap into. Of course, now this is where we go back to that point of pick only one department to promote, because if you just promote all the other departments, it's kind of like you're trying to target the whole country and all the patients that are in the whole country that you're in. So when you focus on just one department, it helps you easily figure out what these kind of patients look like. For example, if you're looking for ulcer patients, you know what they look like, what their age is, where they usually live, what is their lifestyle. All of this helps you in psychologically also communicating during your content, during your content setup, that is videos and designing your flyers and also taking the photos. Then you also want to look at the locations. Now, since you are in the medical industry, you do not want to go at the start on the national level. You might start with your country, but try to limit it to a certain kind of uh, to a certain limit of distance from your facility, so that is very easy and also reasonable or practical for your patients to actually reach you. Because remember that since you are in the health industry, you're going to definitely need physicality with your patients. So it is going to be very hard for you to work with them remotely. They will need to reach you. So what is the most practical distance from your facility to the customer? And advertising online gives you this strength in that you can limit for the adverts to reach maybe 15 kilometers, 20 kilometers, up to 100 kilometers. So you definitely need to set this up in your Meta Ads Manager. Then you need to look into what exactly these customers are looking for. What are they looking for in a facility like yours that can cure their pain? If it is ulcers, as you said, what are they looking for? What are those things that you have to keep in mind for a client to be easily convinced into coming to you as their trusted doctor or as their best curer that they have ever met? This could be your professionalism. This could be your trustworthy, that you are licensed. This could be that you are fully equipped. This could be easy access, that you're not so far away from them. And it could also be affordability, or a price that is easily justifiable. Yes. And after that, you want to set up the landing page. The landing page is going to be set up on your CRM platform. Your CRM is going to allow you to set up kind of a minimum website, just a single page that collects people's information and then bring them in for processing communications after that. So you want to set up a landing page, and you should ask your customers the most important questions: their name, their phone number, their email address, and any other medical questions that you find very important, that they will help you qualify the patient whether they are serious or they are not serious. You want to go to keep these questions right here, and you do not want to exceed 5 questions maximum, because if you add more questions, many customers really just get fed up. They'll just ignore the form, and you do not want that. You want them to fill the form, make it as direct as possible, make it as simple to digest as possible, and ask the most basic questions, but that are important to you as a business. Now, once they submit that information, is going to be taken in by the CRM, and the CRM will process their information, sending them communications after that. This could be emails, this could be WhatsApp messages, this could be automated calls. Remember that this strategy is also supported by artificial intelligence. This is where you pay a certain software to call back customers. Every when a customer submits their information, the software will call them back directly and ask them, "Hey, Arafat, we have received your information. Somebody is going to follow up with you, and they will do this and this and this and that." And that is all for today. If you'd like to try out this strategy, just click the link in the description of this video somewhere and download the strategy. Get started with it. I'd like to hear your feedback. I believe that with this strategy, you can have at least 3 serious patients signed in each and every other day if you execute it correctly. Okay, try it out, and I'd like to hear your feedback, maybe through the comment section or through the DM. Peace out.